Hi travelers, I've got my little camera set up on my tripod here, and I'm going to pre-record this little intro so that I can put it in front of every video. So unfortunately, as you go back to look at your moon and rising signs, you'll be hearing this again, but it's okay. So I told you that for January there were going to be there's a new deck of cards and a new way that I'm going to be attempting to read the cards. The cards are the Fin de Siècle, okay, known as the Kippers, and it's not a new deck. Lots of people use them, okay. Supposedly they're like the Lenormands, only I find them to be completely different from the Lenormands, and just in my experience with them, and they, for me, are more like the La Vida Sibila cards. I've also discovered that there are a few things missing from the cards in terms of situations that could happen. There's cards that are missing that could refer or relate to some of those situations. And as we go further into the year and I continue to do more readings with them, you'll understand what I mean, because I'll talk to you about it. And so I, read the little book that came with it. Okay. And that's all well and good. Some of the stuff I didn't understand or I did not agree with. And so, you know me, I created my own little book, the Fin de Siècle. Now, before I talk to you about what I did with the book, I am quite sure there's going to be somebody out there who's going to come up underneath the video and be like, well, that's not how the cards are read, or that's not what the cards say, or that's not what the meanings are. And that's fine and good. I have a process of bonding with my cards, of imprinting with my cards, and I wrote about that in a little short article over on Substack about tarot hygiene. And so in imprinting with the cards, they were really talking to me a lot. And so I was able to go back in and write my own little book and add some extra interpretations into it in terms of how the cards spoke to me in combinations with other cards. And so that's what's contained in the book. All right. Now, the way the cards are going to be, here's the deck. Okay. And so they're almost like I find them completely different from the Lenormands, especially the French Lenormands, even the Dorndorf, the German Lenormands. They're completely different. I think these cards are a little bit more plain spoken. So in that regard, they behave a lot like the La Vida Sibila. I've been doing some practice pulls. I haven't necessarily had to use the Sibilas for clarification, but I may have to. That's not the fault of the cards. That would be me, the reader, not understanding what the cards are saying to me. So I will be using, perhaps, if need be, the La Vida Sibila for a bit of clarification. These are going to be shorter readings this year. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe a 10 card spread, anywhere from 6 cards to 10 card spread in a pyramid shape with 3 additional cards off to the side. Those 3 cards additional off to the side will be dealt first face down, and then the rest of the cards will be dealt face up. So the 3 cards to the side that are face down will be things that may come into play. Okay. Again, as with all readings that I do here on YouTube, these readings are free, therefore they are general. And in order to gain any insight into your own specific situation requires a personal reading. And the way that I do personal readings, how you book with me, you contact me by email, and I get your birth date and your sun sign and just your questions. I don't want to know the story. I don't need to know the story about what's going on with you. I just want to know what the questions are, and then I read for you. I do live Zoom readings for 60 minutes. Everything else is recorded, which you upload it to YouTube so that you can go in and view them, download it, save it, delete it, whatever you want to do. I don't need the reading anymore. It's yours to do whatever you want to do with it. And so I always like to give that its general because I'm going to be reading for so many different people of sun, moon, and rising signs. So again, if you recognize a story, then you can always just book with me. You can go over to the About box section of my channel, and there you can find my reading packages. And I left one off, the 20-minute reading, so it's up there now in the About box section. Once you pick your package, you simply email me, and then we go from there, okay? I have payment links, everything. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to explain to you the cards, how I came about some of these interpretations. And before I finish, I want to give a shout out to Bella Dutch, who talked to me about these cards. She said she loves them, and now I understand why. So thanks, Bella. I appreciate that. I've been looking at them for a while, but just they didn't seem interesting to me, and I had bought so many decks that didn't speak, but this deck does a lot of talking. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close this down, and then we're going to get started with the readings. So I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is going to be your general reading for January 2023. I cannot believe today is the 26th of December, and there's just a few more days left in 2020. 2022. I don't know about you. This year has gone by extremely fast. I thought it was because I was just getting old, but I asked Hannah, and she's 18, and she said, no, it went by fast. So I had to do a reality check to make sure it wasn't just me. So anyway, you have seen the introduction for the Fin de Siècle cards that I'll be using. I'm not exactly sure if I'll be using these throughout 2023 or if I'll just be using them for personal readings. But I like the cards a lot. Again, the way they are read, there are going to be 3 quote-unquote surprise cards that are dealt face down first. And then there's a 10-card pyramid, and we read from there. I do not find that they are like the Lenormands. I find they are more in line with the La Vida Sibila, but they lack a lot of language that the Sibilas have. So I spent a lot of time imprinting with the cards, and I got more information for myself. This is just my interpretations of things that may be occurring. And so I'm quite sure somebody out there who uses the Fin de Siècle is going to be like, oh no, that's not what it means. Well, but that's for them. I have my own relationship with my cards, and everybody else has their own relationship. So keep in mind that this is a general reading. The messages may not resonate with you as a Scorpio sun, in which case I'm going to ask you to check back to your moon and rising sign. And if you need a reading, these readings are just general. I'm reading for a lot of Scorpion people who may be seeing the sun, moon, and rising. So it does require a personal reading to look at your own specific situation. You can email me at the email address there on the screen. Let me see if I can point to it. Hold on, I never get it right. Right there, okay? And then you can go over to the About box section of my channel. There I have the prices, the reading packages listed. Simply pick a package, email me and say, hey, I want the 45-minute reading or whatever, and we'll go from there, okay? So these are the Fin de Siècle. I have not had occasion, but maybe once or twice during the readings for the month of January to use the Sibilas, which, by the way, I don't have on my table, so let me grab them, to coax out just a bit more information. But I find that they speak pretty clearly. Okay? You'll get an opportunity to wrap the reading up with a Golden Nostradamus and an Angel Answer card. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around. And try not to do it too fast because, like I said, can't figure it out with the MacBook. So there we are. I did have a card present itself already. I'll show that to you in just a second. But I'm going to go ahead and do another rifle and shuffle on these. Oh, goodness. Cards just jumped out of my hand. Did y'all see that? And I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck, and then I'm going to lay down the 3 cards. So we're going to put these over here, and we'll look at those in a minute. The card that came out for you while I was meditating and shuffling on the Scorpion sign and glyph is the Expectation card. Okay? So we're going to place that there. We're going to lay the rest of the cards. Family room. Courtship. The next row will be 3 cards. High honor. Thief. Right in the center. Mature man. Last row, 4 cards. Bad health. Pathway. Main male. And finally, change. Okay. So, right in the center of the spread, I have the thief. And a negative card, if it is not talking about actual theft or something, about an actual theft or a person actually stealing something from you, then what it speaks about is a negative change. Something will be taken away, removed, is absent, not necessarily separated. It can sometimes be an indication of, the glare, let me let the thing down. It can sometimes be an indication of an adjective, few or fewer, okay? So hopefully you can see that. And I'm not quite exactly sure how the thief is playing out. I don't know why there's such a glare on the cards. I don't know where it's coming from. Hold on, maybe from over here. Yes, okay, wasn't sure. So, I'm not exactly sure how he's showing up, but he is in the center. Now, the thing about the thief card, it's an interesting card because if you look, there are 3 figures in the card. Okay? And this, supposedly, these cards are depictions of Victorian life. So we know that women who dress like this were usually working girls, and then we have the street urchin. But as we all know, thieves can come well dressed. Okay, so to me, the card can be about deceiving appearances in terms of dealing with someone and or a situation. So at the top, we have the card expectation, and this card is about waiting. The name of the card, or the traditional name or the regular name for this card, is 3 months patience. So this tells me that either 3 months ago, okay, or even leading up to 3 months from now, there's something that's going to occur. I'm not exactly sure. Here we have the family room. Now, the family room indicates just that, not necessarily a family room inside that. It indicates any kind of room in which there are closed doors, or you can close the door. It speaks about intimacy and privacy. So it can represent offices, hotel rooms, rooms in your house, any place where you can go into a room and close the door, right? It indicates the ability to have conversations. There is no conversation card in this deck. So to me, this card is about conversations that may need to be happening here. We have the courtship card. Now, the courtship card can be just that. This is about meeting new people. It is about dating. But it also represents the idea of, again, having conversations, so to speak. This is not a love card. It doesn't indicate love. It doesn't predict love. The reason why that is if you can, hopefully the camera, Cupid up here, the little statue, his bow and arrow are down at rest. It's not drawn and ready to strike. So sometimes in the negative, this card can be about someone trying to seduce you into something or talk you into something, okay? A contractual issue, perhaps. Not necessarily a contractual issue, just trying to talk you into something. Then we have the card of high honor. Now, this is usually associated always with work and career, but I found that it has other connotations with other cards. So the high honor card represents the idea of recognition, rewards, honors, rewards, getting your name in the paper, getting the recognition that you deserve. It usually is a positive card, but I have discovered in reading it, it can also have, for me, a negative connotation in that it can be an indication perhaps of violence. We will take a look at that because we have the Thief card here. Now, on the back side of the Thief, we have the mature man. The mature man can be any type of father figure for you. He could be your father. He could be a stepfather, a godfather. He could be an uncle. He could be even an elderly boss kind of a man, someone that would typically give you advice. But when negative cards are near, it is a watch out kind of a card here. Okay? And we'll take a look at that. We come to bad health, the final row. Now, this card strictly does deal with health. Okay? So it can be an indication of someone being ill, someone having to be in hospital or having to be taken care of. There's a few combination with cards that say, you know, this is a serious medical condition that you may need to get checked out or to go see a doctor. You guys know that I don't do health readings. But in this instance, this is not showing up to me like a health issue. It is showing up to me in terms of a situation which may be making you ill or has the ability to make you ill, people and situations. We have the pathway. Now, this is an interesting card because it deals with all types of walkways, crosswalks, sidewalks, nature trails. But for me, the card is talking about a crossroads, okay? A way out, having to make a decision about which direction that you need to go in. Attached to this main male, the main male is going to be the most important male in your life. So he could be a husband, a boyfriend, a love interest, but he could also be a sibling, a friend, something of that particular nature. If this is a same-sex relationship, then he is the partner to the mature male. Okay, I think that's correct. All right, I'll have to double check that. It might be the wealthy male. Although the wealthy male for me mostly represents a boss. Finally, we have the card of change. So change indicates just that. It could be a literal change or metaphorical change. If literal, what we're talking about is maybe you've got to relocate for a new job. Maybe you might be getting a new apartment. You might be moving. It talks about changing social, career, and life changes. As a general rule or as a general interpretation, it can be an indication of being adaptable, that you might need to be willing to change and be more adaptable. Okay? Now, the cards that kind of worry me are the high honor, the thief, and the pathway. So I'm going to pull up my little book. Y'all know I always write myself a book. I spend a lot of time. Okay, right. So the main male, if this is same sex, would be partner to the wealthy male. That's right, I wasn't sure. Here, the mature male can be a brother, an older brother, an uncle, a godfather, a boss, a friend, generally supportive. Right. If this is a same-sex relationship, he will be the other man and imply infidelity, in which case he would be the husband. That's it. Okay? So it very well could be that this is a, what do you call it? A romantic situation, even though I don't see a lot of cards in here indicating romance. Remember that the thief can be the idea of literally not just someone taking something from you, material objects, but maybe stealing away a partner or something of that nature. So let me move over, because what I want to look at is Or am I looking at the family room? Close to a significator card. Well, it's not near a significator card. However, what it does is it gives a sense of closeness and can indicate a place of timing, which would be soon or shortly. So if you've been waiting for 3 months on something to happen or to have a conversation with someone, you've been waiting 3 months. This card says soon it will be occurring. Okay. What is the card I'm looking at? High honor. What's interesting is this card can sometimes be an indication of someone who may be tall. Okay, so a tall, and it says when it's next to number 8, false person, or number 24, the thief, it asks that you be careful. So I'm not exactly sure what the thief is trying necessarily to say here. So we looked at the bad health card, and I'm trying to see what other interpretations that I may have. It says that if this is a romantic relationship, the bad health, it's an indication of problems in the relationships in which someone can feel powerless. Okay? A general feeling of malaise, needing to rest or take breaks, relax and take naps. With the pathway. Now, the pathway indicates overcoming something both temporally and spatially. It has an indication of there is light at the end of the tunnel. So in this sense, it can provide hope and the ability of continued development. But it also stands for great physical distances, and that's what these two cards are telling me. It's a relationship, and there is a separation here. Okay, here is the thief, and I don't know if there's a separation because this is the husband and that's the other man, or this is the husband and that's the other man. Okay, but there's a timing for this card, the pathway. It speaks to 1 to 2 years. So within 1 to 2 years, we see the main male maybe coming into the picture, or at least affecting, I'm going to say, the outcome of the situation. Okay, I want to go back. Let me go to the thief card, because there's something about the thief card, and I may need to pull Sibilas on the thief card. So it says, when this card appears, you are being warned. Okay, it can not just be a literal theft, but the idea of missing out on something. And as I often tell you guys, people can steal not just, jewelry, cars, or clothes. They can take your self-esteem, your trust, your faith, your self-respect. They can take those things, and it can be difficult to recover the loss. And it says, if it appears near the significator, and I'm not exactly sure which one of these guys is the actual significator. It says that the recovery, the loss, it is a possibility that you can recover the loss. Okay. I don't know what the loss is. I don't know if this is trust or relationship, or exactly what it can be. This is attempts to talk someone into doing something. The mature male. Let me keep looking here. So at least the false person hasn't shown up. Okay, I mean, it's kind of, what am I looking at? Pathway. Number 5. Right, I gave you that. A great physical distance, 1 or 2 years. So if I had to pick a card to take a look at with the Sibilas, it would be, because it's not giving me a lot of information, I'm going to look at, and the high honor just kind of doesn't make much sense for me unless it's saying that this is a notorious person. The person is notorious for like a serial philanderer. Someone could be a serial philanderer. Okay, it's well known in the neighborhood that the person comes in and tries to steal other people's spouses. Okay, maybe that's you. I don't know. So maybe you have that reputation. But it implies to me, if I were going to put a timing, I would say that the situation really will not be changing until maybe 1 or 2 years from now. Okay. Now, if this is a business and career thing, it would be the same thing, because sometimes the thief with the significator card can be someone who's trying to steal your clients or gossiping about you and talking about you in bad way. Someone who's, kind of suspect. So I'm going to pull cards for Sibilis just to see really what this is saying. This 3-card row here, because the sentence is kind of out of place for me. Okay. The Dottore, the Denari, and the Giovane Fanciulla. That's quite interesting. Well, the Dottore falling on the high honor would be someone, the Dottore is always a degreed male, and he can be a doctor, an actual physical doctor, not a surgeon. That would be somebody, not a general practitioner. I'm sorry. The Dottore would be someone who has a specialty in medicine. But if he's not an actual doctor, then this would be somebody that you would go to who can help. Any degreed male who can help. So he could be a lawyer. He could be a tax advisor. He could be a real estate investor. Someone with a speciality. Here with the Denari represents just that, money. But not only money, but valuable. So that can be anything, but it can also be an indication of old documents. Okay, there's books and papers here inside of this. We know that in romance, that oftentimes there are divorces, separations, fights, and arguments due to money. But not only that, it is in the heart, the suit of hearts. Okay, the Denari card, it doesn't fall in the suit of diamonds. It falls in the suit of hearts, which lets us know that money is oftentimes related to the way we feel about ourselves in terms of value, right? Here with the Giovane Fanciulla, the Giovane Fanciulla is can represent another woman, but in this case, what she's representing is the way you feel. There's this idea of naivete, nervousness and anxiety, and of not quite knowing what to do to fix the situation, okay? Rather a fickle energy. So I would think someone's trying to literally take something away, okay? Be it a spouse or a partner, or even something physical, all right? And 3 months, like I said, 3 months, there's a conversation that needs to be had here about this, all right? In my opinion, the Dottore would fall more in line with the wealthy male card in this particular deck. So again, he's going to be the most important man in the situation. Now, I want to pull over these 3 cards. The official person, the journey, and the lovers. Now, the official person, if he's a person, and to me he's not showing up as a person, but if he's a person, he's going to be somebody who's kind of gruff. He's going to tell you exactly the way it is. Rules are the rules, and he doesn't make any, any qualms about sticking to the rules, by the book kind of a person. As an adjective or a situational kind of thing, this makes it official. This shows up to say whatever this thing is, it's going to become official. The journey card. The journey card represents, while this card represents walkways, crossways, sidewalks, nature trails, This card represents the Journey card, represents all other modes of transportation except for boats. There's another card that speaks to that. So this could be trains, planes, automobiles, bicycles, motorcycles, mopeds, skateboards, that kind of a thing. It also has an indication of round trip. So it is something that you take a trip and then you come back. It also speaks to arrivals and departures. But just as a general rule, it talks about movement and change. Time to leave something behind. Something official is going to be left behind. Okay? But here we have the Lovers card. Again, this card does not necessarily talk about true love or committed love. Let me pull up the book here. What number is it? Number 15. The card can indicate, although the card does not promise marriage, it indicates love or falling in love, okay? But it can also indicate a close friendship. In professional terms, it can mean a workplace affair or that someone is in love with their work. But it can even signify that your head and your heart are in harmony, all right? Now, it is not next to the false person card, which is number 8. So it doesn't necessarily tell me exactly what is changing, except this type of an official change in the relationship. What's the Journey card? Number 10. It can indicate that it is time now for you to move forward and leave your old situation and circumstances behind and depart for new horizons. But oddly enough, it can even indicate that it's time to take a trip. Now, here, because we have this influence of the Thief card here, this could literally be an indication that while you are away, there could be violence, a violent break-in. Maybe you know this guy. Maybe while you're away, but it says that, there's still time to avert this, all right, by taking the necessary and proper steps. But I just feel that this is some type of relationship issue that is going through change, all right? And the card can mean the official person that whatever is happening is going to happen whether you like it or not. So in other words, you may find yourself in a situation over which you have no control because someone else is calling the shots. Okay? I don't know if this is the start of this particular thing, because here we have a timing of 3 months, but then we also have a timing. Then we have something that says, soon, very soon, right away. So I think that maybe this started, or it will be starting for you very soon. But then it may take an entire year or two for this entire situation to work itself out. The Change card. Okay? So, that is the reading for you, Scorpio, for January 2023. I am going to first pull an angel answer card. So formulate a question for the angel answer card. Yeah, I don't know who this mature male is, but I feel that he's calling the shots. Okay? And to me, the bad health with the pathway card, if that's not a health issue, then what it's saying is that there's going to be difficulty in not difficulty, but there will be difficult circumstances, but eventually you will find a way out with the main male. I think the main male, you see, he's flanked by 2 cards of movement, as it were. Okay, so I think he is literally the most important man in this situation. Okay, He might be that dottore that we're talking about. Oh, here's a card. In the near future. And then formulate in the near future. Well, the near future could be 1 to 2 years from now. So just be prepared. The Golden Nostradamus. Remember, in the tarot, time is not a linear construct in as we humans know it. Things happen when they're supposed to happen. But it also depends on other people in the circumstance. An official journey. An official trip. Or not being in control of what happens with this particular situation. I think if that were the case, it's going to be due to the decisions and choices of other people. Okay? The fish, number 25. And to me, that's rather an interesting image because it's 3 people or three figures, but they're all going in different directions. You know, 2 are going in the same direction, but there's a fish in the center that's just kind of breaking stuff up. Okay? So, in the near future, in the near future, and it just simply says, what you are asking about will occur very soon, so you won't have to wait much longer. Stay optimistic and continue upon your current path. Be open to receiving. Again, this is relative, correct, in terms of the timing. The fish. Once you have let the gossip fly, these tales you can never again belie. Silence will bring counsel and will not expose you to the attacks of others. Stop often and think. Stand still and reflect quietly. It will lead to the discovery of the right path to be taken. So, that is what I have for you for January 2023, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I do hope those messages help. And until next time, be well, stay safe, and namaste.